Hey there guys, EctoMaster here once again with another edition of a Hero Spotlight. And this week we're wrapping it our Spotlight.
We're doing anything
I'm doing
yet?
the Spotlight, shut up Falstad. He's free to play this past week. He's probably no longer now, but I figured while he was still free to play I would at least take a look at him. I mean by still free to play, as in last week it was free to play. Take a look at him because I don't own him yet. As you can see, he costs $8.49 or 7,000 gold. Although I could buy him if I wanted to. I'm saving up for my master skin. I know I have enough for Sylvanas, but still, I'm saving for my master skin, you know. Anyways, we're going to take a look at his skins, and we'll take a look at his abilities and his talents. And after we're done with that, while we're doing that with the talents, we'll take a look at a build that I have found on Heroes Nexus. And we'll take a look at all that. So, let's take a look. I'm tired of saying let's take a look. Let's just do it, alright? So he has his basic skin here, and he has two different variations. This one's almost like an Iron Dwarf look, and that's pretty cool. It's almost like, I come from the north. Like, North Wind. And then he has his master skin here. Gotta be level 10 and have 10,000 gold in order to take this skin. It's pretty badass looking, almost, yeah. That's nice, I like that. And then, of course, we have Stormlord Falstad. So he looks like a Stormlord. The one thing I will say is that through all three of these, there is no variation really on the colors. They are all pretty uniform. I know a lot of people are like, well, that's just boring and dull. Yeah, but when I go from this look, or even this look, I can still keep that look pretty much with this one here. Nothing is really lost. Or I go from here to here, and it's pretty much almost the same. A lot of them are not like that, so I do like that personally. Just saying. Just personally. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at him and his abilities and his talents. So he is a ranged assassin with a difficulty of medium. His QWE, his three basic abilities. He has Hammerang, I guess. Kind of like a boomerang. Okay, Hammerang. Got it. It's a 70 mana cost with a 10-second cooldown, and it is a skill shot. So you throw out a hammer that returns to you, dealing 50 or X damage and slowing enemies by 25% for 2 seconds. Lightning Rod is a 70 mana cost with a 15-second cooldown. Deal X to an enemy and an additional X damage per second for 4 seconds if you remain close to the target. And then do a barrel roll. It's a 75 mana cost with a 14-second cooldown. Dashes forward and grants a 75-point or an X point shield for 2 seconds. And then his trait, Tailwind, after not taking damage for a brief period, gain increased movement speed. And then he has his two heroics. Hinterland Blast. It's a 100 mana cost with a 90-second cooldown. It is a skill shot. After a short delay, deal X damage to enemies within a long line. And then Mighty Gust. It's a 70 mana cost with a 50-second cooldown. Push enemies away and slow their movement speed by 60%, decaying over 3 seconds. Now, a skill shot, if you're wondering, because he does have a couple of those, basically you have to get it just right. If you don't get it right, it's over. You missed, and sorry, Charlie, that's it. So let's take a look at his talents and look at this build. It's called Maximum Ability Power from Kurz, and I'm sure we've seen him a few times. So we'll take a look at all this. I'm not going to go over who it's strong or neutral against or weak against, because there's getting to be a lot of heroes. Anyways, starting right off from the top, Power Throw increased the range of Hammerang by 40% and the slow duration by 25%. Updraft, Barrel Roll, range increased by 30%. And then Seasoned Marksman, Conjurer's Pursuit, and Bribe are all ones we see with others. So he only has the two that are specific to him. And for this, they recommend to go with Power Throw. At level 4, you have Charged Up. Lightning Rod strikes the target 2 additional times. Flow Rider lowers the cooldown of Barrel Roll by 40%. Vampiric Assault is one we see with others, as is Gathering Power. that is the one they recommend with the build, so let's go ahead and take a look at it while we're here. Passively grants 5% ability power. Each hero takedown increases this bonus by 2% to a maximum of 15%. This bonus ability power is reset to 5% on death. Level 7, Battle Momentum and First Aid. Again, ones we see with others, so we're just going to look at these three here. Secret Weapon, basic attacks deal 80% bonus damage while Hammerang is in flight. Boomerang, reactivate Hammerang mid-flight to deal 25 damage around the Hammer X damage. And Free Roll, barrel roll costs no mana. For this, they recommend to go with Boomerang. At level 10, they say to get Hinterland Blast, but of course you could always go with Mighty Gust. At level 13, we see Giant Killer quite often, so we'll just take a look at the three here. Crippling Hammer increases the movement speed slow of Hammerang to 50%. Thunder Strikes. Lightning Rod deals 15% more damage each subsequent strike. Each next strike. Yeah, there we go. Thunder, thunder, thunder strikes. Static Shield. Gain a shield equal to 5% of your maximum health after every lightning rod strike. Lasts 4 seconds and it stacks. For this build, it recommends to go with Thunder, Thunder, Thunder Strikes. Ho! Cookie to anybody who gets that reference. Level 16, you have Airy Gust. Reduce activation time for Tailwind to 2 seconds and increase the movement speed bonus to 30%. Hammer Time. Your first basic attack against a target slowed by Hammerang will stun them for 0.75 seconds. Afterburner, after using Barrel Roll, gains 60% movement speed that decreases over 3 seconds. And then Overdrive, cooldown of 25 seconds is something that you can activate. Activate to increase ability power by 25% and mana cost by 40% for 5 seconds. That is what they recommend for this build. At level 20, you have Nexus Frenzy and Epic Mount. Epic Mount I'm going to go ahead and talk about because I think it's the first time I've ever seen it. And it's reduced the cooldown of flight to 20 seconds, reduce the cast time before flying to 0.5 seconds, and increase the speed by 50%. For the build, they recommend to go with Call of the Wild Hammer. Hinterland Blast has double the range and deals 25% more damage. If you decided to go with Mighty Gust, you could go with Wind Tunnel. Mighty Gust creates a wind tunnel for 4 seconds. Enemies caught in the tunnel will periodically be pushed back. And that's it for Falstad. That's all I got. There's not much else. We'll be back hopefully next week with another edition of the Hero Spotlight. Of course, we're going to be taking a look at next week of everybody's favorite Paladin, Uther. So we'll take a look at Uther next week as the main Hero Spotlights. I only have 3 more to go. I still have like 4 or 5 that I don't own yet. I lost my list again because I closed it. If the following heroes become available, and I mean if they become available, if they don't, well then we're just moving on. If Rhaegar or Zeratul, that's it. That's all I have left. If Rhaegar or Zeratul don't become available, we're going to talk about them as well. If Karazhan drops, we'll talk about him, or whatever his name is. I keep forgetting it and saying it wrong, don't I? Karazim. If he drops, we'll take a look at him as well. That's all I have for this week, guys. I am EctoMaster, and I will see you in the next round.